Right now, your dog might be protecting you, not because you trained them, not because you asked them to, but because something deep inside them, something wired into their DNA over thousands of years, compels them to watch over you. The problem is, most owners never recognize it. They think their dog is just being clingy, or weird, or dramatic. But what if those strange little behaviors, the way they position themselves in a room, the way they watch certain people, the way they press against you at night, what if all of it means something? Today, we're going to break down 6 signs that your dog is in full protection mode. And by the end, one of them might completely change the way you see your dog. Dogs are fascinating. We've lived alongside them for over 15,000 years. We've bred them, trained them, domesticated them. And yet, most of us still don't fully understand what's going on inside their minds. Here's what we do know. Dogs are not just pets. They are deeply social animals with a powerful instinct to form bonds and protect the members of their pack. And in their world, you are the pack. What that means is that many of the behaviors we chalk up to quirks or habits are actually calculated responses. Ways your dog is communicating with the world around them, specifically to keep you safe. Researchers in animal behavior have spent decades studying how dogs perceive threats, form attachments, and respond to stress on behalf of their owners. And what they've found is remarkable. There are specific, consistent patterns that dogs display when they've decided, consciously or not, that you are someone worth protecting. We're going to walk through 6 of them. Some are subtle, some will surprise you, and one, near the end, reveals something deeply emotional about the bond your dog has formed with you. 1. They position themselves between you and strangers. You're out on a walk. Someone approaches, a stranger, maybe another dog, maybe just someone your dog hasn't met before. And before you've even registered the person is there, your dog has quietly moved. They've shifted their body so they're standing just in front of you, between you and whatever is coming. It looks casual, almost accidental, but it isn't. This behavior is called protective positioning. And it's one of the clearest signals in canine body language that a dog has designated you as someone to guard. Dr. Stanley Coren, one of the world's leading experts on dog behavior and psychology, describes this as an instinctive form of what he calls proximity protection. The dog isn't reacting to a confirmed threat. They're anticipating one. They're placing their body as a buffer, a first line of response between their person and the unknown. Watch for it next time you're in a new environment. Crowded park, a vet waiting room, even your own front door when someone knocks. If your dog consistently finds a way to be between you and whoever just entered the picture, that's not coincidence. That's loyalty in action. 2. They watch the door when you're asleep. Most people think their dog sleeps all night, but that's not entirely true. Studies on dog sleep patterns show that dogs experience much lighter sleep cycles than humans. They wake frequently, sometimes dozens of times a night, and in the wild, that wasn't a flaw. That was the point. When your dog chooses to sleep near the entrance of your bedroom, near the door, near the hallway, facing outward, they are performing what animal behaviorists call sentry behavior. They are keeping watch while you are at your most vulnerable. A 2020 study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs who had formed strong attachment bonds with their owners showed measurably increased alertness during nighttime hours compared to less bonded animals. They weren't just sleeping near their owners. They were monitoring the environment on their behalf. Think about what that means. Every night, while you're deep in sleep, your dog may be scanning, listening, processing, ready to wake you if something feels wrong. That's not a pet. That's a guardian. 3. They alert bark at specific things, not everything. There's a common frustration among dog owners. The barking, seemingly random, seemingly endless. But here's something worth paying attention to. Is your dog barking at everything? Or are they barking at specific things? There's a meaningful difference. Dogs that are protecting their owners develop something researchers call a threat hierarchy. They learn, over time, what is normal in their environment, the mail carrier, the neighbor's car, the usual sounds of the house, and they begin to filter. Their alert bark becomes reserved for things that genuinely seem out of place. Dr. Alexandra Horowitz, a cognitive scientist at Barnard College who has dedicated her career to studying the dog's mind, notes that dogs are extraordinary at reading patterns. They remember what belongs in their world. And when something disrupts that pattern, an unfamiliar engine outside, footsteps on the porch at the wrong time of night, a person who lingers too long near the house, that's when a protective dog sounds the alarm. If your dog has a specific bark, one that's lower, more sustained, more focused than their usual noise, and it's directed at something outside your home rather than inside it, pay attention. They might be telling you something important, for they follow you from room to room. We need to talk about the shadow dog. You get up from the couch. They follow. You go to the kitchen. They follow. You go to the bathroom and somehow they're already there. A lot of owners find this endearing. Some find it a little overwhelming. But very few understand what it actually means. This behavior, technically called hyperattachment when it reaches extreme levels, is in its moderate form a deeply instinctive protection response. Dogs who track their owners through a home are maintaining what researchers call visual contact protocols. Simply put, they cannot protect you if they cannot see you. In pack dynamics, more vulnerable members, young animals, injured animals, those in unfamiliar territory, are closely followed by protectors. When your dog follows you through your home, they are treating you as a valued member of the pack who requires monitoring. Not because you're weak, but because they have decided you are important. There's a warmth to that when you think about it. Every time your dog pads quietly across the floor to wherever you are, they are choosing you. Again and again, in small, invisible ways, every single day. Quick pause here. If you're enjoying this and learning something new about your dog, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more dog owners who want to understand their animals better. And if you want more content like this, subscribing takes 2 seconds and means you won't miss what's coming up. Alright, back to it. Because sign 5 is a big one. 5. They lean or press against you during tense situations. Here's the one that surprises most people. You're in an unfamiliar place. Maybe a busy street. Maybe a loud event. Maybe you've had a hard day and the energy in your home is heavy. And your dog, instead of moving away, presses their body against your leg. Leans into you. Makes themselves physically close. Most owners assume this means the dog is scared. That they're seeking comfort. Sometimes that's true. But for many dogs, especially those with a strong protective bond, the opposite is happening. The dog is not leaning into you because they need you. They are leaning into you to anchor you, to regulate you. Research from the University of Helsinki's Canine Mind Project found that dogs are capable of reading human stress hormones, specifically cortisol, and responding with physical closeness not just to seek reassurance, but to provide it. Dogs in the study who showed the strongest protective bonds were most likely to initiate physical contact with their owners during stressful situations. What that tells us is extraordinary. Your dog knows when you are stressed. They can feel it, possibly smell it, before you've even consciously registered it yourself. And their response is to make their body available to you. To say, without words, I am here. You are not alone. That's not anxiety. That's devotion. 6. They make eye contact with you before reacting. This is the one that gets people. Imagine you're walking together. Something startles you. A sudden noise. A cyclist cutting too close. A stranger moving erratically nearby. And in that split second, before your dog does anything, they look at you. They check your face. This behavior, known among researchers as social referencing, is one of the most studied and most misunderstood behaviors in domestic dogs. And what it reveals about the dog-human bond is, in the words of many behavioral scientists, genuinely astonishing. A landmark study from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology showed that dogs are one of the only non-human animals that spontaneously look to human faces for information in ambiguous situations. They look at us the way a child looks at a parent, not just for direction but for emotional grounding. When your dog looks at you before reacting to something potentially threatening, they are doing 2 things at once. They are reading your emotional state to calibrate their own response. And they are signaling their commitment to acting as a unit with you, together, not alone. If your dog shows aggression or alarm without that glance, that's fear. That's reactivity. But if your dog looks at you first, if their eyes find yours before anything else, that is a dog who has woven you into how they perceive and respond to the world. You are part of their decision-making. You are part of their safety system, and they are part of yours. So here's the thing about all of this. The next time your dog follows you down the hall for the 7th time in an hour, or presses against your leg at a party, or watches the door at night while you sleep, maybe don't brush it off. Maybe just look at them for a moment. Really look, and understand that you are being loved in one of the oldest, most honest ways there is. Not with words, but with a watchful eye, a steady body, and a heart that decided long before you ever noticed that you were worth protecting. If this video made you think about your dog differently, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear one thing your dog does that you now think might be protection. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we post new dog psychology content every week. I'll see you in the next one.